It's 51 degrees. Oh, good. We're over 50 degrees anyhow. It's 8:09 at Wall Radio. Good morning to you. It's Friday and it's Veterans Day. And especially because of that last thing, because it's Veterans Day, Andrew O'Grady is our guest from Mental Health America in Dutchess County. Good morning. Welcome.
Hi, Kate. Good morning.
You brought me Dunkin' Munchkins.
Of course I did.
You're my favorite person. You are my guest of the month for November. I'm sorry for anybody else that was in, but you've topped the list.
Well, it was so nice being in Dunkin' Donuts. A few veterans walked right up, and they got some free donuts here in Middletown. So,
a lot of places are doing that.
Yep.
Yes, I salute Tooties. And I think MHADC are doing meals for veterans today.
Nice. If you go to a foam and wash car wash, if you're a veteran, you go to any of the foam and wash car washes, you get a free top-of-the-line car wash today. So it's a great day.
It is a great day to say thank you to those who served. My dad, my brother, they were both in the Army. I have other relatives in other branches of the service, and they tell me, I was not in, they tell me that it is something that changes your life, that you cannot really explain to anybody else, but once you've been through it, it's a bond.
It's a special
Forever.
It's a special club, I think. It's something that, you're right, nobody can completely understand or relate to unless you've gone through it. And that's why programs like our MHA Vet to Vet program, and there's other Vet to Vet programs in other counties that you guys are on the air with, are so helpful, because we hire only veterans. Many of them are combat veterans and have dealt with the worst of the worst, and they are the people that reach out. They're not therapists. They're not psychiatrists. They're just veterans that want to help other veterans, and it's fantastic. And we're really proud of that program. And so I'm glad you had me on today, because we want to make sure we get the word out that if you're a family member of a veteran, because a lot of veterans who are struggling with PTSD or other issues related to that don't want to reach out for help. They feel a little
I'll handle it.
Uncomfortable.
I'll handle it myself.
I'm weak if I do that. But you're not. But if you, unlike other mental health and addiction issues, if you're a family member, you call our agency, 845-473-2500, ask for our Veterans Department, tell the story about your loved one. Our veterans will go right to your house, right to their house, right to where they are, knock on the door. And it's amazing when they say who they are and what branch they served in, and they're going to let them in. It's just an amazing dynamic. They're going to let them in, and they're going to talk to them.
Another veteran is not there to shrink them,
Correct.
if you'll pardon me for using that phrase. Just to say, I understand. I've experienced some of this. I've been there too, and I tried this, and it helped me. Yeah. And that's what you want to bring to people who are really having a hard time.
That's what you want. When we first started this program, I'll never forget this meeting I had. Adam Roach, who is well known in Dutchess County as a veteran that helps other veterans, he was the first person we hired, and he had done 3 tours of duty in Afghanistan. He has seen some things. He's taken back some things in his mind, and he had a hard time getting through it. We hired him. He was our first guy at Vet to Vet, and we sat at a table with the Dutchess County Veterans officer that's in charge of all veterans in Dutchess County, or make sure people get services. And we sat at a table, and this guy talked about all the programs and services that are available for veterans. And I looked at Adam and I said, "Do you know about that?" And he said, "No." The next one, "Do you know about that?" He said, "No." He said, "No." We actually spearheaded with Sue Serino's help, getting the VA to release names of veterans being discharged from the military into Dutchess County, and now we call them and we just say, "Hey, I'm glad you're done with your service. Here we are. If you ever need anything, if you ever experience A, B, and C, we're here. Don't worry. We can help you get whatever services you need." That's all it takes, is that phone call. Before that, and in other counties, people get discharged from the military, and there's no
There you go. Goodbye.
There's no follow-up.
Goodbye. Good luck. Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do that. And that's all it takes, is just that one phone call. So help is out there.
Are you finding that there are issues with now younger veterans than previously? I mean, a lot of us think of veterans as being really old people, grizzled veterans from World War II, Korea, Vietnam, but now you've got Afghanistan. Are you finding that the age is changing of the people that you see that need help?
It is. I mean, if you think about, the demographics, World War II, there's not too many people left.
Right.
Korean War, there's a few. Vietnam, thankfully, quite a few people left in that. And they still struggle. It's amazing to me. We've interviewed and talked to veterans who recount their stories of being at Vietnam, and they're 75, 80 something years old, 85 years old, and they still get teary-eyed when they talk about when they came back and how they were treated, and how they were treated when they went in. And many of those people didn't just volunteer to go in; they were forced to go in. But to your point, then we've been at war pretty much for the last 15 years, more than that.
Yes.
More than that, 20 years.
We don't think about it as much because people just quietly went overseas and were deployed. But there's no big flag-waving parade for them when they come home either.
No, but thankfully, there might not be a flag-waving parade because they're not coming home in droves because the war is not over. I mean, that's been over for a couple of years now, thankfully. But that's not the way they came back. They came back, by themselves. But the people in this country, there has been a major shift, and they're very thankful for the veterans and appreciate what they do. And I just love that that's there, and veterans are not vilified anymore. And that's a great thing.
When my brother was an active military, he said that he and his wife would be out to dinner frequently. And if he was wearing his fatigues because he just came from work, people would see him. And all of a sudden, the waiter at the restaurant would say, "Your tab has been covered, sir."
That's fantastic.
Yes, it really was.
Well, it should be like that. I did a post on Facebook today on our MHA page, and I just kind of pointed out that today's the day we want to we want to honor them every day. But they are people that either chose or had to go, but they went out and protected us.
Yes, if they chose to go, you want to honor them for that. If they did not choose it, but went anyway, you definitely want to honor that as well.
Definitely honor that for sure. That was. Can you imagine? I mean, we're removed from that a little bit. It's been 60 years, but you think about that. I mean, when my kids are that age, and you think about what that might be like,
Yes.
It was funny. I know you probably got to go to a break, but when COVID started and the kids were, my daughter was a senior in college, and her senior year, the end of her senior year, was just taken away. It was like March, and they said, "Oh, you got to go home." And she was supposed to have the next 3 months of finishing up and being with her friends and saying goodbye in an appropriate way, and that really stunk. They got taken away.
Yes.
She was, upset about it, and I said, "Listen, you could have been drafted into a war. I mean, come on.
That's right.
Let's put this in perspective here."
Because that happened to people.
Many people.
Still living now.
Right.
Yes. So Veterans Day, and remember 11/11, and at 11 minutes past 11 o'clock, that one monument, hopefully they've got sun there. Yeah. It shines through and it lines up just perfectly.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Oh, I'll find that for you on Google. Yes. I think it's in Washington, D.C. I have to look it up, but
might be a cloudy day today.
I know that
Hurricane Nicole is ruining everything.
Yeah. Yes, we're supposed to get rain starting here in a couple of hours.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, but it is Veterans Day, and we're here to talk about the services for veterans. The way to thank them is to make sure that they're okay. And Mental Health America has a big part in that. Your website, MHADC.org, is a good place to start, and we're going to talk more about it. We'll be right back with Andrew O'Grady on Wall Radio. You know what? Andrew and I were talking off air, and I let it go to a song. No, I'm sorry to do that to you, but we have so much more to talk about on Wall Radio.
That's a good song. I was getting.
I know it's a great song. I could still play it for you later. Oh, duh! That was. That was an interesting little mistake. Mm-hmm. It is 8:20. It's 51 degrees at Wall Radio. It's Veterans Day. Andrew O'Grady is here from Mental Health America in Dutchess County, and they have so many services for veterans. And, we have a resource also on our website, wallradio.com, has a whole page of veterans resources. YIT Foundation, is going to be on the air with us next week, talking about what they do for veterans, because she is so wonderful.
Yep.
And you have a lot of programs run by veterans for veterans, somebody who understands. And what is something that people don't realize about your services? I mean, are they affordable? How do you?
So the great thing about these services are, and I've worked in the mental health field a long time, so typically programs require a referral by somebody else.
Paperwork.
Yeah. There's none of that here. It's just a phone call. It's a connection, and they're just going to go at it and help you get whatever you need. And it really is literally anything. There's no specific narrow scope where we say, well, we don't do that. We're obviously not going to be your medical doctor, or we're not going to be we don't have psychiatry. We're Mental Health America of Dutchess County, but we don't have psychiatry for vets. But we are connected to all of that, and we will link you up to anything you need to be linked up to. The great thing about the program is that there's a ton of activities, and from bowling outings to tomorrow at Horderkill Gun Club. And I'm hoping this rain from Nicole comes and goes by tomorrow. We have the turkey shoot, annual turkey shoot, where from 12 to 6, veterans can go and they can just, for free, target practice. They can have fun. The best, most accurate shooter will get a turkey to go home with. There's other prizes.
They're not going to be shooting at turkeys.
They're not going to be shooting at turkeys. It's all
target shooting. Yeah.
It's all target shooting, and it's a great day. People really love that. I'm hoping the weather holds out for that. These events are really important for a number of reasons. One, it gets veterans together and gives them people to talk to that understand everything about them. They feel very comfortable with them. But the dynamic where it really comes into play is when a veteran is isolated, and some of you listening might know the person in your life that's this person. They're isolated. They're not going out very much. They don't feel comfortable outside of what they might have experienced in the last 20 years. And so they need to broaden their world. And I can countless stories of family members calling up. We go and engage with that veteran. We invite them to an event. They come to the event. Their family comes to the event. Little by little, they make a friend, a connection. Their world gets bigger and bigger. And then they're getting a job because we have job coaches that help veterans get employed. They get hooked into the VA for whatever services that they might be eligible for. Any benefits that they're eligible for that they didn't know how to apply for, we make sure that happens. I mean, it really just opens up their world. And that's a typical pattern and story of this program. And no veteran, I'm always nervous to say this, but no veteran that's ever come in contact with our program, and it's not 10 people, it's thousands and thousands of people, has completed suicide. Not one. Not one.
Wow.
And that's fantastic. And and we just got a grant from the federal government to expand our program even further, to focus on suicide. And we are going to be providing those services in Orange County as well, and Ulster County. So we're expanding that, and that's our area with this grant. We're expanding out past Dutchess County. So please call us. And even if you're in a county that we are not in or we can't get to, if you're hearing this, call us and we will do the research and figure out where in your community you can get some help.
Let's give them a phone number.
845-473-2500. 845-473-2500.
And if you know someone, or if you are someone at risk of suicide, you need to know that lifeline. You can call 988.
That's all you got to do now, 988. Mm-hmm. You can, I'm sure you can call 911 too, but
that's right.
But 988 gets you a mental health counselor that'll be there to talk to you. Mm-hmm. And life is always better tomorrow. It might seem like it's not going to be, but there's always a better tomorrow.
And you can help them find that tomorrow.
Yep.
At Mental Health America in
Reach
Dutchess
out
County.
to us. We'll help you.
Yeah. Today's also the anniversary of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, the Wall That Heals.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yes, they unveiled it 1996, this date, traveling around the country. And we just had it here not too long ago.
I remember that.
And yes, I visited a few times.
Yeah. I went to see it in Catskill. It made a lot of stops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're able to go see the original wall in Washington, D.C., that's, well, that was part of my honor flight experience as a Guardian.
Yeah.
So many things.
The Korean War Memorial down in Washington with all the, it's almost ghostly looking, but all the soldiers, life-size soldiers walking through the field. Do you remember seeing that?
Yes, I do. Yeah, because my dad is a Korean vet. Yeah.
That was made in Beacon, New York, the Talix. I was working in Beacon when they made them, and I used to go down, and every week there would be another figure out in front, and they would mold them there and make them there, and then they shipped them down to Washington. Pretty exciting.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. Veterans Day. Anything else we need to let people know about? Oh, yes, there is. You have a holiday project fundraiser going on at MHADC.
Selling more flowers and stuff. We have an annual wreath sale every year, and if you're somebody that buys a wreath every year, give us a chance. I can promise you the price is cheaper than going to any of the places around here. I don't want to name names, but they're cheaper, and they're actually bigger, fuller, and better, and you'll be supporting Mental Health America of Dutchess County. This kind of money is really helpful for us. It allows us to continue with these programs that we just talked about, because not everything we do is funded. So we appreciate any support. So holiday wreath, and it comes with a little bag of pine cones and everything else, and you put it together yourself.
You get the greenery, and you get the decorations in a little bag, and then you make it perfect yourself.
You make it yours, and make it a family event. Have your kids help out or whatever. It's a good wreath, and it supports a great agency.
Thank you very much. Yes, we can't forget that. And we'll add that to the wall board, too, so people know how to order them.
There you go. MHADutchess.org. MHADutchess.org.
For any of the information that we've been talking about, services for veterans, other mental health services, or just to buy a holiday wreath.
There you go.
You got us. You got us covered. And you brought me Dunkin' Munchkins today, too. Seriously. The guest of the month.
Oh, that's
for
nice.
Those Dunkin' Munchkins.
I'll have to do that next time.
I'm not sucking up just so I'll get them again next time, but I appreciate. We are glad to have you in here.
Thank
Andrew
you.
O'Grady at Wall Radio. And I guess I have to promise that we'll play that entire song that I cut short. Yeah, okay, we'll do that after we do the news. Here's a news update on Wall Radio. It's 8:28.